We are going to have a look today at Aboriginal art and painting, which actually dates back 60,000 years, making it one of the oldest art traditions in the world. Now, as long as indigenous people have been living in Australia, they've been creating different types of art. So let's start by having a look at some examples of ancient art. It includes things like, as you can see here, rock paintings, park paintings, even some sand drawings like this having fall. Then there's a whole era of body art, which is so important for ceremonial practice. And lastly, here are some examples of decorative art on weapons and tools. The oldest art examples today are the rock paintings because obviously rock is more durable than other materials and so the art has been preserved. In fact, most of this work is inside cave, largely because there it's been searched, hasn't been destroyed by the weather, while the paintings on outside rock surfaces have often been washed away over the years. Now there are enormous variations in the style of Aboriginal rock art, depending on its age and location. Dot paintings are one of the best known visual art forms of Aboriginal culture in which a surface is covered in small dot to reveal symbols. Typical ones include arrows like this. Here's a water hole, and these are animal tracks. You get to see both the abstract dog painting and more naturalistic art. You get both in rock art and Venice ages. As the ancient Aborigines didn't have a written language, the key purpose of much of this rock art was storytelling, which has had a great significance for younger generations. Let's move on to look at the materials. Whatever they were painting traditionally, Aboriginal people all over Australia used pigment such as earth to make band, or very finely test to a natural rock, and well, they use this because art is plentiful across most of Australia. It's colored by iron oxide, which is the mineral that makes a lot of Australian art by soil. In places such as Ayr Rock, with what is known as Uluru Uluru being a Aboriginal name for Ayers Rock. However, depending on the exact conditions under which it formed, the shade can be anything from yellow to orange, red, purple, or dark brown. Today, occurs in many archaeological sites, and archaeologists that at one site have discovered what appears to be an artist's palette of orchids dating back 18,000 years. Preparing the art paintings was time-consuming work. First, the appropriate rock had to be found cladded. Then the rock had to be broken up and ground into a powder, and that had to be mixed with some sort of fluid to blind it into paint. Nowadays, the powder most commonly used is professional artist acrylic blinder, but in the past, Aboriginal people used things like tree sap or something similar like bird honey. Other flowers must also have been used but wouldn't have held bent on rock or piece of bark for thousands of years. So sadly, those banners would have been lost. So how have things changed? Well, modern approach, is the mixture of the old and new and the new. Things changed in the 1970s, really when Aboriginal people from many different parts of Australia, particularly South Australia, Central and Northern Australia, took up acrylic painting and began to paint on canvas. Taking a modern approach has many advantages. It saves artists a great deal of time. They can still choose to use the traditional yellowish, reddish, brownish colors as they wish to. But perhaps the most important fact is that, unlike punk or rock paintings, the modern paintings are easy to sell. In fact, paintings on canvas have given Aboriginal people an, an opportunity, um, an opportunity to showcase the art to the world and keep the ancient culture alive. Modern Aboriginal art, particularly dot painting, has taken up and started selling on a big scale internationally. Aboriginal art can also be found on poverty and various musical instruments like chair doors and carving sticks. Together, these have become some of the most popular souvenirs in Australia. The artists, just other artists in the world, are now able to learn a living doing something they are passionate about.